Hello, SR Student Ministry families. We are excited and privileged to be joining you on this Devo Day. Guys, it's Wednesday, and today I want to talk about a concept, a topic that oftentimes is overlooked, and that is marriage. Let's talk about marriage. What is marriage? And I want to start by saying, I think it's important for us to understand what is biblical marriage. What is biblical marriage? Not marriage recognized by law, but what is biblical marriage? What is the idea, the concept, the way God intended marriage to be? Now, I know this may get confusing, but I believe that God, when He created marriage, He intended all marriages to be underneath the biblical context. That is what the definition of marriage is. Now, we as a culture and other areas have taken this concept and we've kind of perverted it and taken it and used it in other categories. So today I want to talk about biblical marriage as God intended. And we're actually going to be looking at a passage, Mark chapter 10, the first couple of verses. And guys, truthfully, I don't have the time or the ability on this devotion to get into all this. But I want to encourage you, if you want to reach out, I'd love to talk to you some more about this. Our devotions are there to be equipping and valuable and conversation starters. So let's open up our Bibles, Mark chapter 10, and let's read together. And he left there and went to the region of Judea and beyond the Jordan, and crowds gathered to him again and again. As was his custom, he taught them. And Pharisees came up in order to test him, asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" He answered them, "What did Moses command you?" They said, "Moses allowed a man to write a certificate of divorce and to send her away." And Jesus said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, he wrote you this commandment. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. And they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate." So we're going to stop there, and the real reason why I want to stop there is because I want to hone in. I believe Scripture clearly portrays that a marriage is a union between a man and a woman committing themselves to one another in front of witnesses and God. And that marriage serves a greater purpose of being a level of symbolism and understanding of Christ and His bride, the church. Guys, there's a lot that I could say, and actually, just a couple weeks ago, we went through in Crossover and actually broke this down piece by piece. What does it mean to be united? What does it mean to be committed? What does it mean that God intended for it to be a man and a woman? But today I want to focus in on that symbolism piece, and I actually want to give you a little bit of Jewish background on marriages. And so for a Jewish couple to be married, a man would approach the family and he would present a gift offering, and this gift offering usually incorporated cattle or some kind of livestock, and this gave him the opportunity in front of family and friends to ask the bride or the woman to marry him. And so actually one of the ways that they did that was with the cup, and actually he would offer her a cup, and if she accepted it, they would be engaged. All right, and the engagement process was a lot different back then than it is now. Matter of fact, actually, as soon as the woman accepted, the man would go away. He would go away for a long period of time, and that long period of time was defined because he would go away with a purpose. He would go away to prepare a place. He would prepare a place for them to come and live. Now, it's ironic because in today's world, we hear the idea of leave and cleave and all these other common phrases that are thrown out with marriages. And yes, they are true. We are to be independent in the sense of we're not to be relying solely on our parents to provide for us forever. That's a whole nother talk. But this apartment or this house, this place, this mansion that he was building, mansion in the Jewish term was more like apartment, was actually attached to his parents' home. Okay, so basically he's pulling up a place by his parents' home, and he had to continue to work on this, and he was not allowed to return to marry or to approach his future bride until he had finished the house and gotten the approval of the Father. And so he would have this house that he was building and preparing a place, and then once he got the A-OK, he would return back, and as soon as the bride saw him, literally that day, they'd get married and they would be joined as one, and there would be this huge feast. Now you may be listening to this and going, wow, that actually ironically sounds familiar. Like, why is that so familiar? And the truth is, guys, this is a direct symbolism of what our relationship with Christ as the church looks like. Right? Christ came down to earth and he offers us this opportunity to join in commitment with him. And he actually directly offers it to the disciples, and then he ascended into heaven and he left. Right? He left and he went back, and what is he doing while he's gone? He is preparing a place for us. And it is up to the Father, when the Father knows it is the right time, when the Father believes that the work is done, when the Father believes that the houses have been built, Jesus will return with a triumphal entry, and he will claim us to be his bride, and we will be joined as a union, joined together. Guys, this is the beauty of what that symbolism applies to, and that's another reason why it's so important for us to recognize what marriage was intended to look like, because the marriage is not only one of the most sacred and beautiful and awesome things that you can participate in, and it wasn't like, I mean, we look back to Genesis, God was like, hey, this is what's good. Man needs to have a helper, needs to have a partner, and so God knew it was important, but even more so than that, it also directly reflects what Jesus Christ is doing and what has done for the church, his bride. Guys, this is this beautiful picture for us to understand that we are the engaged woman waiting for Christ's return. So what is marriage? It's a union between a man and a woman, committed to one another in front of God and witnesses, and it serves the purpose as a symbol for the relationship of Christ and the church. Guys, we have much to learn, much to dwell on, much to be thankful for. Thank you guys for taking the time to tune in. And I pray that as you examine marriages and look at it, you recognize there is a lot of brokenness in our world, and sadly it doesn't always play out the way we had intended. And there's a lot of scripture that speaks to this, but the point being, we are to look at biblical marriage. What biblical marriage was originally intended for was to provide partnership, to glorify God, and to serve as a symbol for Christ and the church. I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks for tuning in for this Devo Day. Have a good one, guys.